Alright, this episode of Call of the Night absolutely killed me. This is essentially just one big innuendo, all things considered. The whole idea that you have Kou trying to fall in love with his vampire very much is saying that after he has his blood sucked, he kind of has that clarity. He has that, well, let's just say post-nut clarity, where he's thinking about doing one thing, realizing that maybe he's not actually in love, it's just lust, so let's get the deed over with and see where he stands, and every time after she's done sucking his blood, he comes to a level head saying, I really like her, I want to fall in love with her, but I haven't just yet. Those were just the emotions and the hormones going a bit wild. But to see how Nazuna plays on that, from taking to what seems to be a love hotel, to giving a very simple massage on paper, but dressing up in a nurse uniform and positioning herself in the way that she did, it's understandable why this boy is very confused, going from having no friends seemingly, not knowing what friends are, no idea what love is, to now in a committed relationship with a vampire who exclusively sucks his blood and very much is apparently both a painful and pleasurable experience. This boy is having the wildest ass time, but not gonna lie, the twist at the end of this episode with her whole massage services, or I guess professional cuddler, which is a real thing that some people pay for, not even just like Japan, but like there's like little places all throughout the world that literally have professional cuddlers and people will pay for it. It's like a completely non-sexual thing that just, they need to be cuddled, and it's like, okay, I guess that's a thing. The interesting thing with Nazuna is how it's kind of interesting because you don't really think about it, but it makes a lot of sense. This isn't like she's a vampire going and robbing banks, or she's living in an abandoned facility. She's living in an apartment building. She may not have the most furniture in her apartment. She has the bare necessities. She has her TV, she has her game consoles, she probably has some, you know, a few pieces of furniture scattered throughout, but it's not like she's living in luxury, but she has what she needs to be happy. But how would she pay for that unless maybe the building manager was a vampire? So the whole idea that even though she constantly is referring to all the people's blood who she sucked, which that, once again, is another innuendo in terms of, you know, essentially they're now in this relationship, he doesn't want to hear about the other men or women that she's been with, and she very much is poking fun of like, ooh, you don't want to know who I've been with before you. It's pretty hilarious. But I like the fact that because she's been out of work, all things considered, because since they started to be in this kind of weird vampire-human relationship, she hasn't gone and sucked anyone else's blood, which means she hasn't been selling her services, which is kind of a way to make her customers fall asleep, and then she obviously did the deed. She still easily could still do that, just without the vampire sucking, because she has all these different services, from professional cuddler to giving a massage. Apparently the massage is the most, I guess, requested thing, which if she's always wearing the goddamn nurse's uniform, I'm not surprised. A good massage alone will get people to pay, but if you add in the spice, it's no surprise she was maybe a little more popular than probably Kou will end up being, given he's just, you know, some kid from school who's about to give probably a pretty shitty massage. The one thing I will give him credit is, even if you've never given a massage, it's pretty easy to give, at the very least, a decent one. Even if it's your first time, it's just a matter of he won't be a professional probably. But then again, if this girl's stressed enough, maybe she won't care. It's interesting though, because when the doorbell rang, I thought what they were doing was she was finally getting that order, because the episode starts off with her getting upset that, you know, she's been waiting around all day in her package. She gets the little slip, which we've probably all been there at least once. The whole idea of, oh, you weren't home, so we didn't deliver. And it's like, bitch, are you serious? You didn't even knock. You didn't ring the doorbell. You literally put that thing there, as you do to every goddamn door, so people will have to go pick it up from a location, because you a lazy asshole. It happens so much with so many shipping companies. And when they started the episode with that, I just got these like war flashbacks from all the different companies that have tried to screw me over like that. The best is when you get the slip and you have a screen door, right? The screen door is open and they goddamn will open the screen door and put the thing there, even though clearly someone's home. It just, I hate those shipping companies, man. I had to get that rant out of there. But it's interesting because instead of going with her package finally being delivered, instead we get one of her customers because she forgot to take her flyers down. But as she says, she needs money. And it's interesting because this is going to be an interesting new arc, because I imagine it's not going to be one and done, nor is this going to be the only customer we see. Maybe it will for the first little bit, but I imagine this is going to be a pretty relevant thing because she does need money to live. And ultimately, she does buy a lot of things or waste it at a, love hotel so she could watch TV with her boy. I'm fascinated to see just how many, characters will end up basically coming over or if she'll get a different job, because all things considered, if Kou wants it to be like an exclusive blood-sucking relationship, as weird as it kind of sounds, ultimately she doesn't need to suck their blood when they fall asleep or if they fall asleep. She can still do the massages or the professional cuddling, given that literally that was already something she was doing and clearly was doing it specifically for money, but also so that she could feed. Just remove the feeding and it's really no different, really. But it'll be interesting to see because they're definitely setting up the second kiss, which I'm not surprised by, but at the same time, given that this girl is like head over heels for Kou, there's no denying it at that fact. I mean, she's very embarrassed talking about love, but when it comes to physical things, she's very forward. But the whole idea that when he's not around, she's very antsy, she's very jittery, she's, just feels like she doesn't know what to do with herself. And to see the different moments, like when she's at the bathhouse, she's taking her bath, and as soon as the thing goes off, you literally have to go frame by frame to see what she was doing because she's that fast to go meet up with Kou. They are cute as shit together, and it's interesting to see how they're building up that dynamic without really forcing drama or unnecessary filler to make it feel interesting, right? Rather, watching these two discover who each of them wants to be is a pretty fascinating experience. The big question is, whenever the show eventually ends, obviously I'm not talking about this season, but if it got multiple seasons, or even how the manga would end, would they go the route of reversing the vampirism in Nazuna, or would they go the route of letting him become a vampire? I'm curious to see if one of those would be the option, or if he would just full-on choose not to be, because I feel like it'd be more of either there'd be a way to reverse it, or he would end up falling in love, and that would be that. But at the same time, this show, I feel like, could throw a plot twist at some point, which it'd be interesting to see. Still a very beautiful looking show, very erotic show, very hilarious show. It's just a very interesting and unique show. You can't really compare it to any other show that aired this year so far, which is completely understandable why this was such an anticipated one for so many source readers. It's obviously not a show made for everyone. I've seen quite a few people say like they just couldn't get into it, they didn't see the appeal, which I get. There's tons of shows that come out every season that I feel the exact same way and people hype up. But for me, it's just the atmosphere, it's the calmingness of the show despite having so many spicy elements. And just the way the characters bounce off of one another, just two characters can make it feel so full of life, where so many shows struggle to make a scene feel full of life when it has dozens of characters on screen. But excited to see where they go with this whole massage. I imagine it'll be a mixture of failure meets success. The only way it could probably get better is if the friend pops up, because now that we know she is a part of this relationship in terms of being a friend, if she walks in with Nazuna just chilling and watching as he's giving a massage, and very well could be perceived as an erotic massage depending on positioning. If that friend sees that, I just imagine the dumbfounded look on her face being like, just because I denied the kind of threesome sleep scene, you decide to bring in another girl? Like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Like, those types of scenes could write themselves, and even if it doesn't happen in this moment, there's no way she doesn't walk in during a massage at some point and gets the wrong idea, which would be pretty glorious to witness. See where it goes. Thoughts down below, leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. Until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.